Hey guys, it's me, it's Jackson. That's right, you get to see my face again. And today, I've got a very, very special video for you guys. As you can see, let me make myself smaller. That's not it. That's also not it. Hang on. There we go, we'll cut off a bit of my arm. As you can see, right here, we have every single Monster Jam driver that has competed mainly this season. And we're gonna put them on this beautiful tier list that my friend Ewan made for me for this video. And I'll post a link to this so you guys can do it at home too. So here's how it's gonna work. We're gonna go through the list. Down here we got Weston, we got Ryan, we got Adam, blah 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 blah. And all of them, and we're gonna put them on the list. And we're gonna base it based on their season. So let's say Weston, I'll put him back. If I think his season's good, guess what? He's gonna go there. If I think it's not so good, he's gonna go there. If it's bad, it's gonna go there. That's how we're gonna do it today. So, and we're also going to use the stat sheet. And we're gonna use stats and just what I've observed this season and rate our driver's season. Make sure you subscribe, and I really appreciate your support recently. So let's jump straight into this tier list. Okay, so we're starting off with Weston Anderson. Now, for some that are really obvious, I'm going to try not to talk for too long about them, because you probably just want to see my tier list, which is fair enough. I am going to put Weston in amazing, because his first ever season has been really, really good. If I go to my stat sheet, there's a total of 128 wins in your first year. Who does that? Weston does. That's why he gets that. No brainer. Weston in amazing. Ryan. It's Ryan Anderson, guys. It's the same thing. Ryan goes up there. I don't think I really have to explain that. It's Ryan Anderson. He won a world championship. Again. Adam. I'm struggling a little bit. I don't know if it was amazing as the other two, but I don't think it really deserves grade. Let me have a look at his stats. 47 overall wins, 14 racing wins, 5 skills wins, 6. Yeah. Actually, okay. Might be a controversial one. Put Adam in great. Not as amazing as the others. He did have some tough competition, so that's that. So we'll put him in great. Controversial pick. Okay, Kristen. Another controversial one. Well, it shouldn't be, because she goes in amazing. She's had her greatest season yet. I mean, she won her point series. She was really down to the line. I don't see anywhere else to put her other than there. So, moving on to our next driver. Okay, so we got Kayla Blood in Soldier Fortune. I need to educate myself on these, jeez. Okay, so she has a lot of wins. She actually has been really good this season. So she's definitely going to get high up. She's been on Stadium Series Yellow for most of the year. She did really good at World Finals. And especially post-World Finals, she's been even better. So honestly, I'm going to put Kayla in great. Alright, and next up is Bernard Light in Megalodon. Now, Bernard, new truck. You got to remember that. Or I should say new identity. I don't know if it's the same as Alien Invasion from last season, chassis-wise. So, I think, debating between mid and good. I don't know. Mid's a bit harsh, but, because he's definitely not bad, I think he has struggled with a bit of the competition. So I'll put Bernard in the middle. Definitely not bad. Not at all. Alright, next up is Armando Castro. I get to see Armando in the Monster Jam Australia Tour. And because I haven't actually announced this yet, I am going to both Sydney and Melbourne. So if you are going to be there, say hi. Because I can't wait. But anyway, enough of me shamelessly self-promoting the shows that I'm going to. I'm very excited to see Armando. And I'm very excited to say that I think Armando's season was actually pretty great. I mean, he finished, I think it was second on Arena East. Some reason didn't get a main field invite, I don't know. And he's been pretty consistent since then. really dominant in arenas, and that's kind of what you gotta do. He's proved to me that he's very much stadium worthy. So I think Armando had a great season. Next up is Charlie Porkin in Monster Mart. Boy, oh boy, I remember I was in class and I was watching this live, and when they announced that Charlie Porkin was coming back, I was stoked. I wasn't expecting it. He drove Stone Crusher. I thought, oh, he's surely going to stay on the independent scene or drive an indie truck. And then, no, he got invited back. I was really shocked. And he's had just a phenomenal season. I mean, he won the first week in racing. Yeah, his 3 wins, 4 freestyle wins. Honestly, considering he went from not driving very often, it was one of the few that got a call back so late. I'm gonna put him in decisions, guys. It's so hard to make this. I'm gonna put it in great. This is really hard. Jeez. Okay. This is really hard. I feel like everyone's gonna land in here because I feel like there's only a few people that are like really at that level, which surprisingly are the 3 Andersons. Except for Adam. Poor Adam. Anyway. Up next is Mike Christensen in Vendetta, and honestly, this is where we start looking at the lower tiers. I mean, he had that one weekend where he was really out, and I don't know, it's been hard, I think, for him driving this season. I just think he's really struggled. So, man, I really hate doing this. I'm gonna put him in awful. We're gonna change the name, be a bit nicer. Worse, that's a better name. It's still a bit harsh. Not awful's a bit too harsh. We'll put worse. Okay, so I changed it again. At this point, I'm putting more thought into changing the names of the tiers than putting the drivers in the actual ranks. So we're gonna try stop doing that, and we're gonna put Corey Rummel in great because he's just been really good. He hasn't won racing, which is surprising considering how many times he's been in the finals. He actually won freestyle, I believe, a few times. Maybe won skills. Nope, hasn't won skills. He only has 1 overall and 3 freestyle wins. So, he's been good. I just don't think at that next level. Alright, next up is Cody Saucier in Dragon. And I would say also kind of the same thing. Cody actually, you know what? I'm gonna put Cody in amazing. Because Cody, even though he finished 3rd, he had a really good time at the World Finals. He qualified second fastest. And he was just able to, you know, the weather conditions happened in racing. And that kind of threw him off, I guess, or threw him out of the competition. And he's just been really fun to watch. Really, really fun. So, I put Cody up there. He also won in Louisiana. That's another big thing. Especially when you've been competing in arenas all season long. I put Cody in amazing because that's where I think he deserves to be. Alright, next up is Miranda Kozad in Scooby-Doo. She really had an interesting way to join the season. Lindsay Reed, of course, having a child to take time off. So Miranda Kozad gets a call. She's driving it now. And of course, Lindsay Reed is coming back in October. Miranda, I think, has had a better season. I would actually say normally she's about middle pack. But this season, I actually think she's deserving of a good rating. Because she has been pretty impressive. Yeah, so she won 2 racing competitions, 4 donuts, 5 freestyle, 1 overall. So I'd say that's deserving of a good rating. Up next is Chad Tingler in Stone Crusher. In middle pack, kind of just an instinct feeling. I don't have anything much to say. Saigon Shaker, Ryan Disharoon. Ryan Disharoon's had a good season. He got a new truck and it really showed to be pretty good. He's actually been very fun to watch. So I'm going to put Ryan in good. Up next is Elvis Linez in El Toro Loco. Elvis drove great clips last season. Really, really good. He kept that up all the way to the end of the season. And he fell off a little bit, I would say, considering how dominant he was last season. Fell off just smidget, but he's been really good. So he's going to go in great. He has a lot of competition wins, and that's where he deserves to be. And honestly, for those reasons, well, Tristan wasn't around for as long as Elvis. Tristan is going to go in great as well. Up next, we have Zach Garner in Wildside, and I think his season actually was a bit overshadowed by a few other drivers, including John Zimmer Jr., who is the last driver we'll look at. And I think Wildside's going to go in good. I know, shocking. I probably would have put him in great, but he did win this past weekend a few things, but I don't know if he's at that great level just yet, or at least for this season. Jamie it's been really hard watching him. I think he's really struggled in his truck, and Jamie is just a great driver, and I think he's been good. Actually, I would say his World Finals was actually pretty good, so I'm going to put him with Zach. I'm going to put him in good. Up next is Cynthia Gauthier in Lucas Stabilizer. I mean, she's actually had a pretty good season. She started out really slow, but I really think she's gotten to a point where she's at, and I think the level that she's at now is actually great. So that's where I think she deserves to go. Up next is John Gordon in Bad Company. Now, John, I think, is a great driver, and he's actually had a pretty good season. He was very on and off at certain points in time. I think skill sometimes was worst enemy. So I'm going to put him in good. Just an instinct feeling. Up next is Blake Granger in Max D. And Blake has had a pretty good season, I would say. He won quite a lot, hasn't driven since then, so I think that's something to take note of. Yeah, a lot of wins on the table for Blake. 4th place, yeah, really good. So I'm gonna put Blake in great. Yeah, okay. Up next is Mark Hall in Raminator. Mark Hall, he won, I believe. He won a time racing and a regular racing. As of recently, I think the competition is so high at some of these shows. I feel like they really get overshadowed. So I wouldn't put Mark Hall in bad. I just put Mark Hall in middle pack. No. Okay, I'll put him in bad. No offense to any of these drivers. I should have said this in advance. I'll say it now. No offense to anyone. This is not what I think of you as a person or really as your driving ability. I'm just rating your season and is rating it mainly on points and how I personally feel. No disrespect. It's just me ranking through this tier list. So that's that. Up next is Paul Jensen, and this is the first one that I really say he's really struggled this season. And to me, it's a no-brainer, awful. And it wasn't even him. It was the truck that he had for the first season. He really struggled. So that's where he goes. Up next is Bryce Kenny in the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. And Bryce has been quite an underdog this season. No one's really talked about him. And he did win quite a few times. See here, 3, 1, 2, and 1. So, with that being said, yeah, 7 total wins. I think that Great Clips deserves to be in good. Might be a bit controversial. I think he's been a bit of an underdog. But I think he'd need to win a bit more if I wanted to put him higher. Up next is Kurt Kramer, and Kurt, you know, haven't really seen much. So I'm going to put him in awful. Up next is Jim Kohler in Avenger. Jim actually kind of slacking a bit. I don't know, it's not Jim. But I think his season, his winning, he hasn't really, I don't think he's won anything actually. Yeah, no, very surprising. So honestly, I'm going to put him in middle pack because I'm very surprised that he hasn't won anything this season. Granted, he's come very close, but he hasn't won anything, and I think that'll bump him down a bit. Because honestly, normally I'd put him in good or possibly great. Up next is Brianna Mahan, another driver I feel like has been really overshadowed this season. And for that reason, even though she's been quite good in arenas, I'm going to put her, definitely not in middle pack, I'm going to put her in good. Up next is Mark List in El Toro Loco. Mark List had a great start to the season, and he's actually done quite well since then. So I'm actually going to put Mark List in great, because Mark List, phenomenal driver, really good at two-wheel skills, it really showed. And the first 2 weeks at San Antonio, he left the tour as the points leader, and that was just really surprising, and he kind of kept it up all season long. Very impressive for Mark List. Up next is Matt Pagliarulo. Honestly, I'm going to put him in bad only because he's had a few truck issues. Yeah, quite often. And it's unfortunate, but you know, it happens. And Matt Pag, great person, great driver. I just think his season hasn't been the strongest. Up next, though, Tyler Menninger. No way I'd put him anywhere down here. He's going to go in amazing. He has been so good to watch. For so long, I've wanted to see him in stadiums, and we got our shot. And he proved it. He won so often. He has an insane amount of wins. 80. It's pretty damn good. Without a shadow of a doubt, Tyler Menninger deserves the amazing rating. And I would arguably put Camden Murphy in the same rating, because while he's been an underdog, he's really popped off in the second quarter. He won in Nashville, he won in Cleveland. Camden, just a great driver. Really, really impressive. Up next is Bari Musawa in Zombie. I got a bit hot, so I took off my jumper, but that doesn't mean anything. So we're going to put Bari Musawa in, what do we think? Probably great. That's where I'll put it. Oh, jeez. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, no. Oh, okay, hang on. There we go. Jeez, I'm not doing that again. I thought that was to go down, because I don't know what happens if I run out of spaces. Up next is Nick Pagliarulo. Really impressive. Made it to the World Finals, and even though he didn't have much luck, he did really good just throughout the season. So I would put him in good. Up next is Tony Ox. I would say he's had the most underrated season so far. He finished second in points, and I mean, tough competitor. Didn't get invited to World Finals. Really surprised me. So he's going to go in gray. And oh, we do have room. Cool. Okay, I was really panicking. So anyway, he deserves the great rating. Up next is David Olfer in Jurassic Attack and now Velociraptor. And I would put him in good. Up next is Shane Fried in Hooked. And his truck has kind of pooped itself a bit. And I would just put him in bad. Next is Randy Brown. Randy, I don't think's had a bad season, considering he only had one show. So I'm going to put him in good. Up next is Steve Sims, which would be Steven. And again, Steven hasn't competed that much, so he's going to go in bad, only because he's only done like one thing, and he hasn't won anything, so that's just that. Got our final 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got our final 6 drivers. They've all been pretty damn good. Todd LeDuc, I would say, had another underrated season, pretty good compared to last year, I would say. So I'm actually going to put Todd in great, because Todd was really, really good. The next one, I don't even have to say it. I'm just going to say 14-time world champion, because Tom Meents deserves amazing. In fact, I would put him in front of everyone, just because of that. He's been dominant, and that's where he goes. Not that I'm ranking people in terms of thing, but I put him there just because to say I think he's had the best season out of any driver. Up next is Travis Mowry. I'm going to put him in great because he had a really good start to the season and he's still kind of kept it up since. Travis Mowry, I think, is really underrated. Definitely deserves a World Finals invite one day. We have 3 drivers left. I'm going to put Cole Bernard in great as well. He's had another good season. And we got our final 2. I'm going to put Brandon in amazing, because of his World Finals win, and just his season as a whole has been really, really good. And finally, John Zimmer Jr. is going to go in great as well, because John Zimmer Jr. really impressed me considering how good he was, and he won quite a lot, and so for me, that's where he goes. So, to go over our list, it is amazing. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 drivers in amazing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 drivers. One in great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 drivers in good. 4 drivers in middle pack and bad, and 3 in awful. And, well, I just wanted to do something different just to treat you guys. There wasn't a whole lot of news, so I wanted to do something. Hopefully soon I can stream. I really want to do this. I got the green screen working. As you can see, there's nothing in the background. Yeah, I just really wanted to do something like this, and I really want to try a few different video ideas. And I really appreciate your guys' support. So I want to thank each and every one of you so much for watching. And I'll see you all soon with some more Monster Truck content.